Counterculture. Counterculture is opposed to dominant culture, a sociological term used to describe the values and norms of behavior of a cultural group or subculture that run opposite, counter to those of the social mainstream of the day, the cultural equivalent of political opposition. In fact, this is counterculture is a neologism attributed to Theodore Roszak, a researcher. So counterculture is means a culture that is opposed to the dominant mainstream culture. Although distinct, countercultural undercurrents have existed in many societies. It is a significant visible phenomena that reaches critical mass, flowers, and persists for a period of time. A countercultural movement expresses the ethos, aspirations, and dreams of a specific population during an era and a social manifestation of the Zeitgeist, Zeitgeist, which means the spirit of the times. It is important to distinguish between counterculture, subculture, and fringe culture. Well, this counterculture term came into prominence uh, in North America, Europe, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and India in the 60s and early 70s. So that's what counterculture is all about. And you see, under this, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender counterculture, LGBT community, which is evident in many Western nations, uh, it fits the definition of a countercultural movement, as a cultural group whose values and norms of behavior run counter to those of the social mainstream of the day. Bohemian culture, Bohemian means unconventional. That's also again kind of counterculture. In Russia, the Russian and Soviet counterculture, uh, acting outside movements which act outside the usual conventions of the Russian culture. They're using explicit language, graphical descriptions of sex, violence, and illicit activities, and all these things are there. So that's about Asian counterculture. Of course, we have many movements, counterculture movements, because mainly due to the invasion by Western capitalist culture and also the emergence of revivalist movements. Were we to succumb to the first, that is the Western capital culture, we should be losing our identity. If we succumb to the emergence of revivalist movements, ours would be a false, obsolete identity in a mental universe of dead symbols and delayed myths. That's what a researcher says.